Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast. The haunted attraction and entertainment industry, whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. I say as I swallow every word coming forth from my mouth as I attempt to get the intro out. Yes, indeed. This week we are coming to you with one of my favorite subjects. Marketing and advertising.
Yeah.
Literally, I gotta put that fucking college degree to use somehow. Might as well be here for free advice for you guys. But hey, this year we're talking about our marketing plan.
Right.
So we got a lot of caveats and a lot we're going to go over. We've got other news updates on our haunt, updates on our haunt visits. We got a lot of stuff coming at you in this episode. So stay tuned. But real fast, if you have not done so, follow us at all the places we exist. We exist places.
We do.
We exist multiple places.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at hauntweekly.com. We're at Haunt Weekly on Twitter. Great place to follow us. Haunt Weekly on Facebook. Really important place to follow us for reasons we'll get into in a second. We're also at youtube.com/Haunt Weekly. Every episode is available there. Very easy to access. A great way to get it. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, etc., etc., etc. And we are putting a hiatus on live episodes because of haunt season. We're having to record just kind of when we can record. Like right now, we're literally scurried into my office at like 10 p.m. on Sunday trying to fit this recording in. And what was a very busy day.
It was.
So, yeah. But Facebook.com/Haunt Weekly. Follow us there when we resume live recordings, which we try to do on a semi-regular basis, especially when we have guests. You'll find out there. All right. Well, on that note, every week we come to you with a question of the week. And last week's question of the week, as we were talking about preserving haunted attraction history, we asked you, what are you doing to preserve your haunt's history? And basically, a lot of people said they had new haunts.
Yeah, which is good to hear.
That's
we
good to
like
hear.
hearing that there are new
haunts. Are great. And you know what? That is the perfect time to start thinking about preservation.
It is. Like, I wish that we had more from our very first year.
We've got a couple photographs.
A couple props hanging around.
Yep, a couple props hanging around. And a lot of memories, and that's about it.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah. If it's your first year or one of your first years, now's the time. Start recording everything. Start preserving things. The Haunted Rose said that they immortalize veteran actors in their crypt. It's kind of cool. And Victor Ruelas says they do 3D print memorial plaques for each character. I actually like that idea because we didn't actually talk about 3D printing as a possible thing, and that's something that's interesting because we have a friend who does 3D scanning and 3D printing. That is a potentially great way to preserve some of your characters and some of your actors. So I can see a lot of benefit to that.
Yeah, but I mean, so I understand, but. Anyway, good answers.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer.
They are good answers. I wonder if there are videos or character interviews or anything like that.
Yeah, I think it should be paired with something else, obviously. But it is a hell of an idea. And it gives... Honestly, we were talking about how, you can't touch or, like elements of the haunt. We can't preserve that. Well, 3D printing, you kind of can.
Yeah.
At least in a weird way. So it's something to think about. But anyways, this week's question of the week tying directly into our topic.
And I think it's one we've probably asked before.
Yeah, but it's worth asking again.
It is. Didn't say it wouldn't.
And that is, what is your favorite marketing trick? What is your favorite tool for marketing your haunt that goes above and beyond, basically? And you can let us know. We're at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/Haunt Weekly. Leave a comment on the video, shoot us a message. We'll post the question of the week on our Facebook page. Anywhere you leave a comment, we will read it. I promise you. All right, well, it is time to do conference reminders. It is an even-numbered episode.
Oh, yes.
So we should be doing conference reminders. And I will kick off this week.
That is good.
Coming up, October 10th and October 8th. It's not through. I almost said through.
October 1st.
October 1st and October 8th. It's the Lost Souls Haunted Bus Tour, which is sold out. So we're exclusively reminding the people who already got tickets.
Yeah, exactly. And also, there is a scam going around for Lost Souls Haunted Bus Tour tickets. They are sold out. They are not available. If you see that, don't fall for it.
Yes, they will be visiting 6 amazing haunts, 3 each night they are operating. They provide transportation and better than VIP admission to these haunts. It is great. LostSoulsChicago.info. Stay tuned for next year, please. These tickets, I will die testifying to this haunt. Testify.
Uh-huh.
I will testify about the amazingness of Lost Souls until my dying breath. It is wonderful, and I don't want to say I was not surprised they sold out so quick, but I can certainly understand why.
Yes, I can understand why, and if you're sad that you didn't get a ticket for this year, be sure to also follow their Facebook,
Yes.
because you will get those alerts for next year.
Yes, indeed. If you are sad in any way, shape, or form, or you're thinking in a tiny little part of your brain that maybe you want to do it next year, follow them. Seriously.
Exactly.
Do it.
All right, next up, the Son of Monsterpalooza.
Roar.
Yes,
Roar.
October 14th in Burbank, California. It's 14th through the 16th, I'm sorry, in Burbank, California at the Marriott Burbank Hotel.
More info at
monsterpalooza.com/fall.
Yes, because they have two. They have a spring and a fall, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And after that, the 11th and the 12th of November in Nashville, Tennessee, it is the Legendary Haunt Tour. They'll be visiting Nashville Nightmares, Slaughterhouse, Devil's Dungeon, and Miller's Thrillers. Legendary Haunt Tour. Look out for the 2Ts.com.
Okay, then Creep It Real Festive.
Yay!
Yes. That's November 25th and 26th in Santa Ana, California at the Heritage Museum of OC. There are no details yet available, but when they become available, you can find them at creepitrealoc.com.
And finally, in the new year, it will be the Halloween and Party Expo, January 10th through the 12th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Mirage. Hundreds of vendors, must have qualified business license, and it is not open to the public. Bear in mind, this is primarily for shop owners and people who do bulk buys, but there are usually paid people there who are willing to do some cash and carry stuff, and it can be a great place to pick up some odds and ends. You can learn more at HalloweenPartyExpo.com.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit sad that we didn't spend more time on the vendor side.
Yeah.
Whenever they were paired with HauntCon here.
Yeah.
Because skeletons are hard to find this year.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know what it is, but
like even normal size skeletons. Fuck the 12-foot ones.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just really hard to find. But if I knew the contact of where to just go directly to the source, now that we have, a business license, we could just go to them and say, hey, we're a business.
We would like 12 skeletons, please.
Exactly.
Put our little mustache on and pretend to be like 2 kids in a suit and go and buy some skeletons. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it is that time of year. We've been working on our haunt, and most of the work we've been doing, in fact, all the work we've been doing realistically, has been on the front of house side.
Yes.
Last week we got the queue line repaired, physically back together, and I've got to say I've been very happy with how well it's done, because the side door on it previously would not shut.
Right.
It was a mess, and we were thinking that we would have to take some pretty drastic action to fix it. It started shutting. The whole thing has corrected itself. And so, we're pretty much back to school, back there. Basically what we've been doing this week has been cleaning out, and there has been so much we have to clean out.
Yeah, and it's not just inside the queue line, it's around it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, because we've changed neighbors.
Yeah.
And the current neighbor, lovely woman, does not do gardening. Like her son before
was an avid landscaper.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't do it professionally, but he might as fucking well have.
Yeah. So he planted all these things, and they're growing beautifully, and they're like
a little too successful for my taste.
Yeah.
So
we had morning glories all over the queue line.
But that's what we did this week. We cleared it all out from that area. Basically, everything from the queue line to the actual haunt itself has been cleared. We bought a power washer
Yeah.
We owned one previously, but it broke some time ago.
Right.
So we got a new one, and we've been using that to clean the mold and mildew. We talked about this a little bit last week. We've been cleaning that out. Honestly, the Q line looks great right now.
Yeah.
The outside of it, I need to do some work on the inside. I'm planning on doing that over sometime in the next few days. But yeah, the Q line looks great now. We've got the space cleared out. We've got to do a final sweep out. Mm-hmm. But the hard labor and the ripping out and cutting and sawing should be, knock on wood, done.
Yeah, there's one fence board that we've got to replace because in the past 3 years it has bowed like a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I think the Q line has something like 100 fence boards or 75 fence boards on it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of fence boards. And one of them went full derp.
Yeah, one of them is
just
like...
It's lit and bowed like a bow.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Top and bottom. And it's screwed in at the top and bottom too, so I don't know.
Curling in, and we don't know why.
No.
We've tried to straighten it out, but those boards are so cheap and easy to replace. It's going to be just take that one out. We've got replacements already, and that one doesn't even have to be cut.
Nope.
So just take it off, put the new one on. We've been meaning to do it, but we've also been power washing and cleaning and doing other stuff too. And like I said, the entire front of house, I think, is pretty much ready to go. Yeah. Outside of a final sweep out. The other thing we accomplished this week was, it's going to sound odd for haunt work, but we bought and assembled a sturdy wagon.
Yes. We got one of the gorilla wagons.
Yeah, this thing can hold 800 pounds.
Yeah, and it's got sides that are removable, so it can be like a flat dolly.
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah, we have not had a chance to use it. We just assembled it today. Yeah. And I will say this, it was a motherfucker to assemble. Yeah. This, like, realistically, like, you look at the steps, that once you get the tools, it should only take 15, 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, and if we had, like, better tools, we probably would have.
I don't think better tools would have helped us with that wheel, though.
No, not with the wheel.
Because they have a thing like, and this is how you assemble a lot of these wagons, I know. You put the wheel on the axle, basically, and you slide a pin to hold it in place. And it's a very common thing. I get that. Well, this one had us put a washer on the outside, on the inside between the pin and the wheel, and you need this to keep the wheel from jiggling and...
Yeah, we might have gotten frustrated and thought, do we really need this? And put the pin in and then wobbly wheel.
Yeah, we did. So, but that washer, the washer they gave us was bowed.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly. They were pretty thick for the job, too.
Yeah.
And the result was, it was just so much effort. I don't know how eventually you got it. You were the one that got it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't know what the fuck you did, but it was magic. It was magic. Okay, we're just going to leave it there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we've been working on. Now we have the ability to move all the stuff around. We junked a lot of stuff that is trash. We unfortunately had to throw away one of our wheelchairs. Luckily, we still have a good one.
Yeah.
And we also have access to others if needed. So we're not hurting for wheelchairs right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, I think everything is in great shape and we should be ready to, like I said, start work inside the haunt. Either this weekend or next weekend, depending upon how our plans shape up.
Yeah.
We may be out of town this coming weekend. Don't know. We're still kind of nailing down some plans here. But yeah. All right. But speaking of plans, we're planning haunt visits. And guys, we need to have a chat. Because right now there's two top contenders for the plan.
Yes.
One is, remember, we are based in New Orleans. So center your focal point on New Orleans right now. One is to take I-10 east from here, basically right down the Gulf Coast toward Florida, and basically hit haunts in both Biloxi and Mobile.
Yes.
And we've actually found a decent collection of haunts. One of the haunts here on the coast is one we've hit before and are eager to see how they changed and grown because we hit them very early in their life.
Yeah, it's been at least 7 years.
Yeah, it's been about 6 or 7 years, I think.
Yeah. I think it was pre-Ellie.
It might have been. It's at least borderline.
Yeah, so between 7 and 9 years, something like that.
So we want to see them, and there's some other haunts in between the two. They look interesting. The other idea is taking I-55 north, hitting haunts in Jackson and Memphis, and there's this very bizarre collection of haunts in, I believe, rural Tennessee to the northeast of Memphis. And it's very bizarre because they're all within an hour of each other. Like the nearest to the furthest is about 50-minute drive away. And so we got 3 or 4 haunts there we're looking at hitting. Those are the 2 leading things. And basically the question we're asking ourselves is, how much driving do we want to do?
Yeah. And it will also depend on how far we get with putting our haunt back together.
So either of these could happen. But we also did look into the possibility of putting together a Dallas trip. Mm-hmm. We had heard that Reindeer Manor is having their last year at that location. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we know people at Dark Hour. We've had contact with them before, and we have incredible respect for the work they do. We took a behind-the-scenes tour of theirs at one point.
Yeah, virtual one.
Virtual, yeah. We didn't actually go there in person.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And so we have incredible respect there, and we definitely want to see those 2 haunts at some point. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. I looked other Dallas area haunts up.
Yeah.
I was not super excited.
No, they're...
And I don't want to cast shade on any haunt in particular.
No,
because all we have are the websites.
Yeah.
And that doesn't tell you a complete picture. And I know this.
And they're very spread out.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling or a suspicion that there are haunts near those 2 haunts that aren't on the maps that we're just not seeing.
So here's the thing. If you're familiar with the Dallas haunt scene at all, or you know someone who is, pass this along.
Yeah.
And if you are familiar with it, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Is this worth it for 2 New Orleanians to make that trip? It would be a hell of a run for us because it's 10 hours each way, basically.
I thought it was 7.
No, it's 7. It's a lot of hours either way. And it's more hours than we were necessarily looking to do this year.
Right.
Because one of the things is, this is our first remote haunt trip in 2 years now.
Yes.
So we were kind of wanting to keep it simple. And that's one of the reasons the I-10 East one's really appealing, because the furthest haunt is 2 hours from home. But we still get to hit 4 or 5 new haunts, depending on how it shakes out.
Exactly.
But yeah, let us know what you think of the Dallas haunt area. If you got any tips, tricks, or if there's something we might be missing, let us know. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. Let us know. I'll be interested to hear what you all have to say about that area's haunted community. Because we talked at length about our Houston trip, and hell, it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
We really... We're actually kind of disappointed in Houston, and I'm getting some of the same feelings and vibes. Now, that said, since we talked about that trip, we've had people come to us and say, oh, you went to the wrong haunt, you went to the wrong side of the city, and diddly-diddly-dee, and all I can think is, well, we actually asked, Texas haunters where we should go and what we should see, and we followed the best advice we got.
Yes, and don't assume that other people have let us know.
Yeah.
Because... the old adage of when it's everybody's job, it's nobody's job.
Yeah.
So we're talking to you. If you specifically know.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you know the area, I am making it your job personally.
Yeah.
Whomever you may be, I'm making your responsibility solely to let us know. How's that?
Yeah. Yeah, because we didn't get any feedback until after we'd gone.
Well, and that's kind of the frustration about these haunt visits, because we did get a little bit of feedback on the Houston one. The Damn Texas Haunters group had some suggestions and a few other things. And we didn't get much through the podcast, I'll admit. But we had a few suggestions online. But like you said, we went, we came back, we recorded the episode on, and then the flood of criticism comes in. Why didn't you go here? Why didn't you go there?
Because we didn't know that's where we should have gone.
We asked and no one told. So please, it is your job. You personally, you. It is your job. You know that. All right. So anyways, this week we're talking about our 2022 marketing plan, and it is kind of a unique year for us. Mm-hmm. And this is our first year back since our last year open was 2018.
Yeah.
In 2019, we were canceled due to road work. Mm-hmm. That sucked.
It did. 2020, we were double canceled.
Yeah, double canceled.
Because of COVID and Hurricane Zeta.
Yeah, it's really funny because I remember we really did put a lot of effort into trying to open in 2020.
Yeah, we at least were going to have a kick-ass trick-or-treat area.
Yeah, we had plans, and we had a kick-ass trick-or-treat area lined up. We even bought this giant deer stand. and we were going to have bought a slide for the candy. It was going to be cool. We couldn't open the haunt. We were going to kick ass with a trick or treat game. And then Hurricane Zeta hit, and we didn't have power until like November 2nd.
Yeah.
Because it hit, I think, October 30th or October 29th. I think it hit the night of the 28th over into the 29th.
Yeah.
So we didn't have power, and there was just no way. And it wasn't safe to invite people into the neighborhood. So we were double canceled. And then 2021, we stayed closed due to COVID, city regulations.
Yep.
Pretty much anything possible. You did trick-or-treating. Unfortunately for me, that was the year I threw my back out.
Yeah.
It's been a rough few years, I'm not going to lie.
It has.
So, the truth of the matter is, we feel kind of like we're starting over. This feels a bit like our first year. Other than like we talked about last week, we're lucky in that a significant portion of our crew is ready. We only have to recruit a few people. We're actually not bad on that front. Cool. So we feel like we're starting over. And it's bad because our house is literally covered with news clippings and other press mentions. You go to the entranceway of our house, you'll see framed mentions and clippings of our haunt.
Yeah.
All over the place. We got a lot of press, but it still feels like we're starting over. And we're kind of assuming that if we have not been forgotten, we are not in people's minds.
Right.
So this gives us a unique challenge. We have to remind people that we exist. We have to repeat what we are, and maybe more so than we had to do in previous years. And we have to get people to come back and resume their traditions. Because that was one of the things we heard in 2021.
Right.
Was we're messing up people's traditions.
Yeah.
I feel you. It's messing up our tradition too, people.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that again last year. A mom and a dad, two different families, both told me, man, you're messing up my tradition. Or I came here as a kid, and now my kids are finally old enough, and you're not open.
Yeah, we're not open.
Please come back next year.
Well, like I said, in 2020 and 2021, in 2020 and 2021, realistically, we could not do it legally.
No.
And that's one of the problems. Being a home haunt, we had to obey the rules of private parties and private events.
Exactly.
And for reasons I'm not 100% clear on, those rules were ridiculously more strict than businesses.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just talking essential businesses. I'm talking businesses full stop. The rules were insane. We couldn't have more than 50 people on the property.
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
It wouldn't have, because
even if we did time taking, even if we did everything we could, basically, when you count our crew and everyone else, we've gotten probably close to, well over a quarter of that is gone. And then all you need is a handful of families, and we're over the limit.
Yeah.
And then the cops come, and then shit gets awkward. So we couldn't make it work with the rules. Businesses didn't have these rules. We did. And it kind of sucked. I got to admit, it was really frustrating. So, the whole point is to get people to come back. And so we're developing a marketing strategy that basically is designed, we're hoping, is designed to do that. Now, I want to remind the court that marketing is advertising plus public relations. Or at least that's what they'll tell you in classes. Technically, everything done to promote a business.
Right.
But most of those things follow under the advertising and the PR umbrella. So the other things to remind everyone, we are a home haunt. Our budget for marketing and advertising is in the mid to low 3 figures.
Yeah.
We are only open 3 nights. We're not opening next weekend. We're opening literally the weekend of Halloween.
Yes.
And we are not really wanting huge crowds. In fact, one of the things we've discussed, and I think we both are in agreement on, is we're not trying to break our record this year.
No. Our
record of 1,200, we had 1,000 in one night. That was madness. I don't think we can do that this year. I don't think we have the because we were able to do that after like 10 years of consecutive running, or technically 15 years of consecutive runs.
Yeah.
We haven't been open since 2018. We're a little bit out of practice on some of this.
We are. So we're not wanting huge crowds, but I am getting a little bit of encouragement from outings around town.
Yeah.
Because when we were buying skeletons, because the one place I found 2 skeletons, 2.
Still 2 more than we bought up to this point.
Exactly.
At least the prices were good too. So
yeah, was at Home Depot, and everybody was like, "Ooh, they got skeletons!" So there's definitely excitement in the city
and
for
that's
Halloween.
just it. We forget how recognized we are.
Yeah.
Because we've been in enough media, and especially enough TV media,
right?
In this city, and this is one of the communities where people do watch the TV news. It really does get watched, and I forget that because I never watch TV news.
Yeah,
I forget that. But we go out, especially this time of year, we get recognized everywhere. We're not wearing the Bernie Baxter shirts. We're wearing just regular clothes for us.
Yeah.
People know who we are, and it always freaks me out a little bit because it doesn't happen the rest of the year.
No. Well, and Ellie was at her
local
knitting,
restaurant,
her knitting thing at a local restaurant today, and there were some kids walked in. It's like they overheard her telling, the person she was teaching how to knit, about the haunted house and how we're getting ready for it. And the kids were like, oh, "Y'all are coming back? We're so excited!"
Yeah, and the kids used the words, "Y'all are coming back."
Yeah.
Now the thing is, they recognized Ellie.
Yeah.
Who Ellie is not. She's our resident adult.
Yeah.
She's our haunt mom.
Mm-hmm. She's often not outside.
She's often not outside at all.
Mm-hmm.
She's the adult in waiting a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just interesting. But anyways, so here's the plan we have now. Some of it, all of it subject to change.
Yeah.
But here's what we're thinking now and what we've discussed and where we're headed with this. First, let's hit up advertising. Mm-hmm. The main form of advertising we do is flyers. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're going back to our tried and true method of getting the word out, flyers. However, this year we're doing a much smaller run. Typically with flyers, we've done 2,000 to 2,500.
Yeah.
This year we're looking at doing roughly 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is that there is no spirit locally. Typically speaking, every year we would do about 2,000 flyers, we'll say. 1,000 of those would be distributed by spirit.
Yep.
1,000 at all the other locations.
Mm-hmm.
There's no spirit. Like we mentioned this last episode, the nearest spirit is over 20 minutes away from our house, and it is a long 20 minutes.
Yeah, everybody thinks of it as being in another
I was
world.
surprised to learn it was only 20 minutes when I mapped it.
Yeah.
This episode. I thought it was closer to 30.
Well, so it usually is closer to 30
because of
whenever traffic's there.
Yeah, you put an ounce of traffic in New Orleans, that's a 30 to 50 minute drive easy.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't take much to screw up the traffic here.
So yeah, traditionally we've had about 50% of our flyer distribution take place through Spirit. That's not going to happen this year. We're not going to distribute flyers at Spirits that are not close enough to reach our audience. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. We're not going to do that. So yeah, that's frustrating. So we have a new plan. We're focusing entirely on places and spaces where we've been getting inquiries and are the centerpieces for local life. We're keeping it hyper-local.
Right.
Including places that we haven't hit. We have a restaurant at the end of the main road near our house. Mm-hmm. We've never left flyers before that I can recall. Or never put up flyers there or done anything with them.
I don't know which restaurant you're talking about.
The chicken place.
Oh, yeah, no, we haven't.
We haven't. And part of that is because their hours are wonky.
Yeah.
We're going to leave there. We're going to leave at the area bars.
Other restaurants. The local library.
The local library is going to be... We've never left at the local library before.
I thought we did once.
Maybe once, but I don't recall. And so basically, we're going to make sure to keep it hyper-local. I don't want to hit any place that is more than about 1.5 miles away from us. With the possible exception of Algiers Point. And the places there.
Oh. I was thinking Belle Chase.
And Belle Chase too, yeah.
Because there is a donut shop there that our flyers just fly out of.
We'll just say nothing more than 3 miles.
10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes away.
10 minutes away.
Whatever a 10-minute drive is, we're not going to leave that radius, which traditionally we've done a lot. Because the thing that always happens every year is when we're working on the haunt, especially as we get into late September, to mid-October, it gets too hot during the day to work on the haunt. So we take a break, we get in the car, we go on a flyer run, and we would just distribute along the route of wherever we're going.
Yeah.
And the result of that would be you get flyers in some strange places.
A little bit.
Especially when you start giving them to your actors and to your friends to distribute.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you got flyers in like fucking Baton Rouge, and you're just like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
But, I mean, I already know some people from the middle of the state that are coming down and plan on coming through and visiting.
Yeah. So, yeah. Obviously, there are people that come from outside that circle, but we really want to put the focus locally.
Yeah.
This year. And basically, we're trying to focus on focusing on quality rather than quantity of placement here. Basically, we're going to keep our flyers visually very similar to what we've done. Mm-hmm. There will be new messaging on them about, hey, we're back type thing. But visually, they'll be indistinguishable from previous ones, because that's one of the things we've noticed is people recognize our aesthetic.
Yeah.
Super quick.
Yeah. Well, it's a very clean and recognizable aesthetic. It's black and white.
Yeah. You really can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, focus on those near us, and basically, we just want to remind people that we're here and that we're back. The goal is not necessarily to use these as a direct, hey, come to the haunt, type thing. It's where people go, oh yeah, I remember them. I should see what's going on.
Yeah.
They got flyers out again. I should totally see what's up. Mm-hmm. You know, I've come to the conclusion that the flyers work best by reminding people we're here, and then they go to other sources for the info.
Yeah.
It's a point of contact. That said, we are also planning social media advertising. We'll be beginning that probably in either the second week or the third week of October.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we're starting to build some of it now.
Yeah. Well, this is the paid advertising.
This is the paid advertising.
Yeah. We're getting into more of the social media stuff in a minute. But basically what we've discovered is our audience is primarily on Facebook. It's where they're easiest to reach, at least. Mm-hmm. So basically what we're going to do is create an event like we've always done.
Right.
For the haunt.
For each night.
For each night, yep. And then do a small advertising campaign, probably around $100, maybe $150. And we're going to focus on the local area. Once again, keep the geography as tight as Facebook will let us, and keep the demographics about as broad as we can. As long as they're interested in Halloween, haunted house stuff, and things like that, I don't care what age they are. I don't care, income, anything else. None of that matters. So yeah, the audience, because the thing is this, the audience that will remember us best is older. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're not going to be young teens. No. If they came to us years ago, 3 years ago when we were last open, 4 years ago now when we were last open, they may not fully remember who we are, remember anything about it. Right. The people who are going to remember are going to be a little bit older. Yeah. So basically the goal is to get people to like the page and interact with the events. And long story short, too late. It's more, once again, it's about getting in front of eyeballs and getting people to remember who we are. And I once again, I think an ad is great for that. But we're getting into more of the social media stuff in a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, we need to make sure that everybody knows that we're coming back, because even Google has said that we're permanently closed.
And I've been trying to fix that.
Yeah, which is not true. So.
But yeah, that brings us to public relations side. Mm-hmm. Once again, the message is we're back. And I think that's a pretty compelling message. Yeah. Because we were closed, most of the time we were closed was due to COVID. And I think that is completely understandable.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I don't think we're the only ones. And it's a great story. Closed for COVID and road work. And now they're back. Yeah. It's a narrative that writes itself. So later this week, my plan is to contact the monthly and weekly publications. Right. So we can get into their calendars. And the problem with that, the reason to do that so early, is that a lot of them will publish in mid-October, which is kind of the perfect time to be in there. But the deadlines for putting something in there are often a week or two earlier. So if we wait until October, wait until when we're doing the rest of the PR push, it's too late.
Right. And one of the October edition of one of the local free newspapers puts out their what to do in New Orleans for Halloween the last week of September.
Yeah. So I got to get in there. That's one of my plans this week. That's one of the few things I have to do this week. But yeah, the rest of the PR Blitz is going to happen mostly the first week of October. We're going to let all the daily and other weekly publications know what's up. We're going to make ourselves available for interviews. And the main goal of this is the same every year. We want to get into all of the things to do lists, the calendars, the guides, those things. And those are great. And another, listing or two, or a news clipping or two, or a video package or two wouldn't hurt. But I never go into it with that intent that that's a goal. It usually happens. It's always happened it's happened at least once every year, pretty much, that some news station goes, hey, or a news outlet goes, hey, these people are interesting. Let's talk to them. They're weird. I'm sure they can entertain people for 2 minutes. You know? And they're not wrong.
No.
But yeah, basically, go into the mindset where we're just trying to get into the calendars, we're just trying to get into the guides, and whatever follows. And basically, we did a whole episode on basic PR strategy for haunts, episode 285. Go back and check that out. Yeah, it was over a year ago now.
I know.
Scary to think that episode 285 was 70 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, and we're still going strong.
Strong, maybe strong. We're still going.
Yeah.
But yeah, in our experience, the PR does not really draw a lot of direct traffic, but what it does do is get people talking. Which, when you look at both the advertising and the PR, that's really what we're trying to do. New Orleans is a huge, small town.
Yeah.
And I know everybody says that about a city, but in New Orleans, it is completely true. Everything is spread word of mouth here.
Yeah. And it's crazy how many connections people have in the city.
It's nuts. And people will talk with one another. It's absolutely bonkers how much, word will get around very, very quickly. As long as you reach the right people, I mean, you reach those center of the public spheres, those social hubs.
Yeah, exactly.
With all the spokes coming off of. You reach them, you don't need to advertise.
Right.
And that's just truth.
Yeah, we've got several friends who are in those hubs.
Yeah.
Who are the center.
Yeah. So yeah, I really do think getting people talking, and this reminds me of that story from I think 2018 when we had the video coverage.
Right.
We were interviewed, and we were like 2 nights before opening. You went to the local grocery store to get some cheap styrofoam coolers,
right,
for drinks for our actors. And asshole at the grocery store put it way up high where neither of us could easily ever reach it. You were by yourself, and I don't think I could have helped. And someone recognized you.
Yeah.
Said it was you. Oh, it's you. I remember you. And then went over and got help.
Yeah.
And then got the cooler for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how New Orleans is.
Yeah.
Word gets around, people talk, and they respond. All right, so real fast, direct social media stuff. New Orleans, Bernie Baxter does not really have a large social media following. And the social media following we do have is almost entirely on Facebook. To put it in context, it's about 1/4 the size of Haunt Weekly. And the honest truth is we haven't put a lot into growing it, and that's that is not it's on us.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, over the past 2 years, I tried to make sure that anybody who drove up that didn't get the message that we were closed, we tried to let them know to follow us so that they would know if we were going to be open the next year.
And 2018, realistically, was the first year we mixed social media marketing in with the signage at the haunt itself.
Right.
We never really did that previously.
Yeah, we had thought about it.
We thought about it, but it never got done. And then that's part of the problem is when you have a haunt that's an avocation and you're not making money from it, these are the types of things you don't do sometimes. These are the types of things that slide because they're not priorities to getting the haunt open.
Yeah, and you've got so much to do, especially when it's such a small crew. that it just slips off the plate.
You've got so much to do. You got so few people to do it with, and so little money to do it with.
Yeah.
Printing new banners, for example, to include the social media information. There have been years that we legitimately could not afford that.
Yeah.
It was we had a choice: new banners or Halloween candy.
Yeah.
We chose the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that said, we do have an audience on social media, largely through shares, likes, and people getting the word out and pushing it out there. Because our audience, as small as it is actually really, really good about sharing it, tagging people, letting people know what's up.
Yeah, like the audience here.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
Or you all.
Y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Embrace the y'all.
But yeah, we're going to focus on producing more for social media this year than we have in the past. I've tentatively committed myself to doing once per week video post, even if it's a short video.
Yeah. We did like a stupid little one
5
tonight.
second, yeah, it was a 5 second thing. But it was still a video post, and it was cute because it showed the ghost wave, the Skelly boy. We got a new light.
Yeah. That's a little skeleton and he waves at you. And basically we're going to turn it on when we're waiting for delivery at night because our yard is dark right now.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that's changed since last time we were open, is that they've changed out the street light so that now we've got the LED one and it doesn't illuminate the whole yard. Yeah,
and it's very frustrating because the LED ones, the lights are brighter.
Yeah.
They are objectively brighter. But for reasons I'm not clear on, they did not provide diffusers for it.
Right. So it's pretty much bright straight down.
You get a cone of light straight down, like an alien abduction light.
Yeah. Oh, we should totally, decorate it like that, though.
Yeah, you get, this cone of light straight down, very narrow cone of light, and just a few feet outside that, it's pitch darkness.
Yeah.
Because they aren't diffusing the light. And it's so frustrating because...
So it's frustrating most of the year because the delivery drivers can't see the house number.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great for Halloween because we've always wanted the yard to be a little bit darker for that.
Yeah. So this year's yard display is going to be a lot of fun. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're doing the once per week video post, once per week photo post, and hopefully once per week text post of some stripe or another. We're going to basically let people see what we're doing, what's going on. And the goal is to get more direct followers, and that will help us with the advertising campaign, because when you're doing a Facebook campaign and it's connected to a page, sort of the campaign starts with the people who follow your page,
right,
and goes out from there. The more connections that you have, the more you can reach with the advertising campaign. So that'll help us there. So yeah, between now and Halloween, 3 posts per week. I haven't quite nailed down the schedule, but that's the plan. We're also exploring TikTok and Instagram. I'm pretty sure we're going to do Instagram.
Okay.
And the reason is because it's so easy to do simultaneously with
Facebook. Yeah,
those two
it
are
really is.
TikTok I would like to do, but I also don't understand TikTok.
Yeah. So.
And I legitimately am thinking about, we have an actor in our haunt who runs the trick-or-treat, helps run the trick-or-treat area on Halloween night. Wonderful woman who somehow, some way, despite being older than all of us, is more in tune with the kids.
She is. She told us about TikTok. She's like, TikTok's going to be a thing. And we're
she told us about TikTok before you probably even heard of TikTok.
Exactly.
I'm not even kidding.
No.
This was like my aunt, my 40-year-old aunt, letting me know about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a kid before I, as a kid, had heard about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. That happened.
Yeah. So she's been on it since the beginning. And,
she groks it. She gets it.
Yeah.
She understands it. And so I'm thinking about just, having her run it, honestly, because this shit, I don't know what I'm doing.
No.
And by the time I learn...
Yeah, we'll see.
So yeah, we're thinking about it. That's an idea. And then now may not be the time to do it anyway, but it's a thought that has definitely crossed my mind. But basically, we want to grow our followers so that way we can do more paid reach. With more organic reach means more paid reach. Also, I don't want to forget about Nextdoor, as much as that pains me.
Yeah, we're not fans.
I hate Nextdoor with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
But for hyper-local stuff like this, it is actually important.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the social media push, we'll be both promoting the event and seeking new volunteers. So it'll be a split effort. And the budget for all this is zero.
Yeah.
No budget.
Other than, no budget for this portion of it.
Yeah. For that part, for the organic social media, $0 budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like I said, I think Instagram is an easy move for us because if we're doing more visual posts.
Yeah.
Then all we have to do is tie an Instagram account to the page and we're done.
Well, and at work, whenever I've done the social media for them, even if you are just putting out a text post, if you put an image with it, people are more likely to stop and click and give you the likes. And then you can ask them to like your page back.
Yeah. So, but the goal of all this is simple. And we mentioned this earlier. It's word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans is a strange town. Mm-hmm. It's not like anywhere else either of us have ever lived or seen. Word of mouth is everything. It's the biggest small town ever. And I say this, I lived in cities that were a fraction the size of New Orleans.
Yeah.
That did not feel this much like a small town.
No.
Like Columbia, South Carolina was a tiny fraction of the size of New Orleans. Mm-hmm. It did not feel this much like a small town.
No.
It really, really does. Especially when you're dealing with Algiers and our weird little neighborhood in New Orleans. Because New Orleans is a weird town, and we're in a weird neighborhood in New Orleans.
Yeah, exactly.
We're on the wrong side of the river.
Yeah.
Algiers is opposite the river from the French Quarter, Ninth Ward, all the stuff you think of.
Yeah.
Uptown, all the stuff you think of when you think of New Orleans. Yeah, we're opposite the river then.
Yeah.
But we're in New Orleans. We pay New Orleans taxes. We have New Orleans addresses. Mm-hmm. We have New Orleans police.
Yeah.
What little bit there is.
Yeah. That's a whole different thing. That's not about haunting.
No, it isn't.
It is scary, but it's not about haunting.
Well, it might be a little bit about haunting because we usually do outreach to the cops too, and we haven't talked about that yet. And that's something for me and that's something to come back to. But anyways, but we want to get the word to the right people that we are back and that you can resume your tradition, basically, is the message. And I honestly, this is how it's usually worked. I'm not just talking on my ass. This is what we've kind of done always. Mm-hmm. Get to the right people. Let the information flow on its own. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because you really, really can do that. Once you get those right people that are socially engaged and not necessarily online. Mm-hmm. When people say socially engaged these days, they're big on the TikTok, they're big on the Facebook. Not necessarily New Orleans. Right. These could be people that are just very engaged in the neighborhood. And neighborhood associations, for example, are huge in the city. Mm-hmm. They're huge. Yeah. Every neighborhood that's not ours has a neighborhood association.
Yeah. And we know several tour guides too who tout us up everywhere, all over town.
Yeah. Basically, there are a lot of people who have a very large social presence that's not online. Yeah. So, and we know that the audience that we're trying to reach right now is likely older than your typical young teen audience you might be trying to reach with a haunt. Mm-hmm. So, we're trying to get the tradition going again and trying to invite people to come along with us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Well, I think that's about all we have. And I think, like I said, this is all subject to change. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. But I think we've got a good strategy in place. And like I said, some of it begins this week.
Right.
But most of it will probably kick off in earnest late September, early October. The things I have to do this week are do those initial contacts for the calendars and get the flyers all for printing.
Yep, exactly.
Those two things have to be done. But the good news is, with the flyers, since we're only ordering 1,000, we can get the slowest shipping fathomable, and it'll still be here. We can get Wish level shipping. Yeah. And it'll still be here in time.
Exactly.
So, I'm excited about it. I think it's a good plan. And honestly, even though I'm a little frustrated, there's no spirit. Mm-hmm. And I do know that it takes a huge chunk out of our flyer distribution.
It does.
I'm actually kind of happy about it. Because it means we have to put the focus on reaching the neighborhood. And reaching, the local community. We can't just yeet a bunch of flyers at Spirit and then just drop flyers like the Flyer Ferry wherever we may be going. We have to think, we have to plan, and we have to do the outreach to the right people. Mm-hmm. And I think that could actually really benefit us.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it could help us reach more people with fewer flyers and less money.
Mm-hmm.
But on that note, everyone, keep abreast of how it goes. We'll be doing weekly updates on what we're working on and also the haunts we're visiting.
Mm-hmm.
You can find out more about us at hauntweekly.com or Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/hauntweekly. You can also catch us wherever you get your podcasts from. And do definitely follow us at facebook.com/hauntweekly. So when we resume the live episodes, you will be informed and you will be invited.
Yeah.
So
who knows? We may even go live while we're working in the haunt one.
Yeah, maybe
we'll just randomly do that.
Yeah, who knows? Well, on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this has been Haunt Weekly, episode 354, talking about our 2022 marketing plan. We will see you all next week.